Welcome back. The US imposed a 25% tariff on imported steel and aluminium products roughly 1 month ago on March the 12th. Back then, the industry said the impact on our sector would be minimal, but it comes at a time when one of our largest steel mills in Whyalla, South Australia, is close to insolvency, with the administrators Court of Mentor searching for a buyer. So what impact have these tariffs actually had on our steel sector and prices here in Australia? Joining me now is David Buchanan, the CEO of the Australian Steel Association. David, thanks for you coming on the show. The tariffs on Aussie steel, have they affected steel demand and steel prices here in Australia?
Edward, thanks for having me this afternoon. Look, fundamentally at the moment, no, not at all. In fact, we've seen prices rise in the US. The Australian market, however, is relatively soft. I think that's a reflection of the general economy and the general situation within Australia. So we've seen a softening in prices. We do see high stock levels, but nothing to do with the tariffs that were imposed by Mr. Trump.
Is there a risk that Australia gets flooded with cheap steel from countries like China and Vietnam, which are now looking to offload excess stock?
Edward, that's always the narrative. We hear it a lot. We do have solid anti-dumping positions to protect us here in Australia. But what we are concerned about, along with our sister organisation or our colleagues at the Australian Steel Institute, is there is a real concern of imported fabricated and finished steel goods. So not so much your raw material type products that are produced domestically here, such as structural steel beams or coils or raw products, but more so actual finished buildings, finished bridges, finished fabricated structures. And that's our big concern and our really big focus point at the present time.
Yes, so you represent steel mills, steel fabricators and exporters. I mean, how confident are your members feeling right now?
It's a very turbulent time, Edward, as you know, with Mr. Trump announcing the additional tariffs today on China. And I think there's a real concern in the industry. Our steel distribution companies have invested heavily in automated equipment to process and further work the products that are used then by downstream fabricators in structures, in construction. So there's a real nervousness around the current situation. Obviously, economies of scale, China, much bigger fabrication capability. Also, countries like Vietnam, Malaysia, close countries to us, also with very large capability, and also very different economic environments, lower wage costs, lower energy costs. So there's a real concern from our distributors, our fabricators, and the entire market of what this might mean moving forward into the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, how much pressure is the local sector under when you talk about energy costs and wage costs here that we've got in Australia?
Look, it's a significant issue, Edward, as you well know. The situation, we are competing in an open market. We comply with world trade rules here in Australia. So besides the anti-dumping capability that companies have to take action against dumped products, we really are trading in an open market. And as such, we are exposed to much lower energy costs and wage costs overseas. So for the local fabricators, the local distribution companies, we're paying Australian wages. We have a lot of compliance issues now with sustainability and other layers of compliance. So we really do have significant headwinds in the economy and the Australian steel industry for the next few years, to be honest with you.
And then you look at Whyalla Steelworks being propped up by the government. Is there a risk no company will be interested in buying it and it could potentially go bust?
Look, we'd certainly hope not. I think Whyalla is certainly a challenging asset. We know Court of Mentor are doing a great job to continue the asset. We really need that asset in Australia, or at least we need steel capability in Australia. Now, whether it's Whyalla or another greenfield site that gets set up in Whyalla with new technology, we certainly need that mill. We certainly need that capability from a rail manufacturing perspective. There is no different available mills to do that. And certainly we need a robust steel industry here in Australia. So we certainly hope...
David, thanks for coming on the show. Sorry, we're out of time. Thank you.